Grand Rising. So this morning in this video, I might come across as angry. I just want to let everybody know I have righteous anger. I have righteous anger by the things that I've seen and witnessed, okay? And I would never hit anybody. I would never go to war and fight. I don't want violence, right? I don't want any violence at all ever in my life. But I do have a voice. My voice is my weapon. And when I sound angry, that's me saying, listen to this. You need to listen to what's going on, because I know that our judicial systems are backed up right now. And why are they backed up? Because you have people using the court system maliciously to destroy people's lives. That's why our court system is so backed up. I listen to a woman's court hearings from Florida, and she actually signed a piece of paper saying she's not allowed to show anybody these court hearings, but I listen to these court hearings. And what's being done to her by the judge, by these GCF, Guardian ad litem, all these people is abusive behavior. They just get to make their own assumptions. They don't even know this woman. They don't know her daughter. This woman has another older daughter who is doing very well for herself. She's in sports. She gets good grades. She's a very good mom. And she had her youngest daughter taken away due to medical issues. They try to claim something about her. She didn't want her daughter on this medication that had just come out because she was told by somebody who worked at a CF Foundation she did not want her child on this medication. And so they took her daughter, and she even said, I'll record myself giving my child this medication. Just give my child back. It's been over 18 months since she's been able to have her daughter. Now they're trying to terminate her parental rights. So what these courtrooms are doing is extremely abusive to the American people. But the other reason why we have an issue with court congestion is because you have people like Kirsten Conboy, Kirsten Chet, whatever name she goes by, and Timothy Conboy abusing our court systems. And how do I know they abuse our court system? Because they went in claiming harassment on me by committing perjury. But before that, I started hanging out with Andrew Conboy, Timothy Conboy's son. And when I first hung out with him, I hung out with him because his TikTok intrigued me. What he was talking about intrigued me. It seemed like we were going down the same rabbit holes, learning the same truth about our government. Doing our own independent research is what me and Andrew Conboy were doing. So him and I had these all conversations whatever on the internet. We decided to hang out. And then he told me, I knew who his dad was because I went to Rosemont High School. He told me that he believes his dad and wife are having an affair and murdered his mom. And I'm like, ooh, what the fuck, dude? That is a wild accusation. I want to know more. Tell me why you believe this. Please tell me why you believe this. And so as he kept telling me things about his relationship, as time went on, it was not all at once. And when I did ask him questions, sometimes he'd get really defensive. And I'm asking a question so I can understand, because I'm not going to sit here and believe you until I actually get more details, Andrew. And he was very irritating. There's times that he has irritated me where I'm like, no wonder why they did what they did to you. But then I go back to myself and I'm like, Stephanie, no, that is petty behavior. Just because he pissed you off, oh, no wonder what they did to him. What they did to Andrew is so inhumane. This man was crucified through our court system. The way that Kirsten painted Andrew on this order for protection is honestly disgusting. She used the most petty reasons to have this order for protection approved. She committed perjury. And then she writes all about how Timothy Conboy, Andrew's father, is a witness to everything that she's talking about. Why is he a witness on your order for protection? When Tim told, because here's the deal, right before Kirsten filed this order for protection, she was stalking Andrew. She kept calling the police on Andrew, kept abusing the law enforcement system, was making fun of him after his mother passed away, didn't even show up to his mom's funeral, acts like she's so worried about him and his mental health and all these paperworks, but didn't care about him when his mom died, treated him like shit, was in and out of their relationship, but all of a sudden wants all this control over him. That's what I'm reading these court papers. She wants all this control over him. So anyway, she sends him videos of her shooting guns to his phone, and she says she's like, I use your head as target practice. That's what she told Andrew, and he asked his dad, what do I do? He said, file an order of protection on her, is what he told Andrew to do. So Andrew said to her, and I had the text message. I posted it. I shared his post on Facebook, and that's one of the things that she came after me for, is that I shared her text message and her phone number or whatever. And I'm like, all I was doing was sharing Andrew's post. That's all I was doing was sharing Andrew's post and putting my own opinion in. And yeah, I was pissed because of their stupid drama. My child was traumatized by being held at gunpoint by police officers. So yeah, I have every right to speak on this issue and what I'm seeing. And once it happened with Ivalani, I didn't want anything to do with this because of who was involved, because it was Tim Conboy. I know what kind of power these men have, and I don't want to touch this, Andrew. I am sorry you're going through this, but I can't help you. I can be here for you as an emotional support, as a friend, but I'm not saying anything on the internet. I don't have enough information to say that your dad poison your mom. But here's what I can say. Like, what your wife is doing is wrong, because I'm a child of a divorced family, right? Like, I know how damaging this is to your daughters. And so that's what I was really going to start speaking up on, is how she was abusing the court system. But once I read his court documents, I'm like, holy fuck, yes, I believe you. I believe that your mom was poisoned by your dad. And as he got more information, I started believing it even more. And as his dad was harassing and calling, and the way he would speak to Andrew and the way his sister would speak to Andrew, and the phone calls I heard, everything, I'm like, oh my God, these people are guilty and your sister's involved. Like, I really believe that Amy Harvey, Timothy Conboy, and Kirsten Conboy may have something to do with Kathleen Conboy's death. And when you actually sit down with Andrew Conboy and get his statements and everything that's happened to him and look at the court documents, a jury would look at this and say, yeah, this looks very suspicious. But the fact that I have gone to different police departments, Andrew has gone to different police departments, he's taken this to court civilly with his father, where his father admits in court that his wife told him to stop communicating with Kirsten. Okay? His dad was told by his wife to stop communicating with Kirsten when his wife was still alive. And then Andrew also told them to stop communicating with each other. In therapy, it even came up that the therapist even said, well, Kirsten, you need to start communicating with Andrew and not his father. Okay, so why is there so much communication going on between Tim and Kirsten? That is weird behavior, especially when your wife tells you to stop talking to another woman. You should probably stop. And it wasn't stopped. The relationship was not stopped. In fact, I think that he actually took her out so he could keep still talking to Kirsten. And then he convinced Andrew to bring Kirsten on a family vacation when Andrew had a new girlfriend. Kirsten said, I want my family back. I want my family back. So Andrew broke up with his new girlfriend. He ended it, whatever. And then Kirsten was out the door again. And then she filed the order of protection on him in 2022. That's all what happened in that time, is he had a new girlfriend. She was stalking him. She was harassing him. She threatened to kill him with guns, told him she was going to put him in jail for having a new girlfriend. And then she did just that. She went to the courthouse. She committed perjury. She abused our court system to have Andrew arrested. She abused this order of protection to have him arrested. Oh, he sent me a 72-page text message. The 72-page text message, if the police would have looked at it and used discernment and looked at it, the 72-page text message was the divorce decree. He kept trying to get a divorce from this woman, and she would not allow it to happen. So now Timothy Conboy and Kirsten Conboy and Amy Harvey have abused our judicial system to conspire against Andrew to silence him. Because he asked his dad straight up, did you poison mom? Oh no, and he got defensive. His dad got defensive. And then Andrew asked, is there a medical examiner's report? He said, yeah, there is. Okay, well, he said, where is it? And his dad said, go get it yourself. So Andrew spent that time getting it. Well, there isn't one. There's no autopsy done. There's no medical examiner done. Paul Larson, who works with Timothy Conboy at Rosemont High School, called off the Hennepin County medical examiner. And then I have a video of his dad saying Paul Larson was never at his house. He is written on the police report. And then Andrew says, why did you move the body from the bed to the floor? And Andrew showed me the space between the bed and the wall. And there's not enough room to even do CPR, unless he was maybe in the bathroom. I don't know. But why is she off the bed? She's a very heavy woman. Why would you move her body? If you were trained in CPS like he said he was, if he keeps saying, I'm trained in CPS, I can't kick flip. I mean, I have the whole phone conversation. He's just going off about why he couldn't do it on the bed, but you're not supposed to move the body. When you look up CPR, you're never supposed to move the body unless there's a fire, there's some other kind of thing that could happen, right? So everything he's saying is just like, what? Stop talking, dude. Like, you were making yourself look really guilty. Very, very guilty. And we have gone everywhere. Andrew's gone to the PCA. I have emailed politicians. I have posted my social media page. I am still legally not supposed to be talking about this. But here's why I know it's malicious what they've done. Okay, because Andrew's father and Kirsten Conboy are meeting up at the church together, right? After Kirsten said in court, nobody from Andrew's family is allowed to see his daughters, which, why does she have that much say over Andrew's life? I don't know. But this is after they had the civil commitment filed on him. They conspired together to get the civil commitment filed against Andrew, saying that he's having mental health problems. And I went and read that civil commitment. And his dad, there was 4 meds his dad wanted him to be on. Not the ones the doctors were prescribing for what they would believe if he needed it, if he really needed it. Timothy Conboy suggested 4 drugs for Andrew to be on. And I read the side effects to these drugs. And I'm like, is he trying to poison you too? I mean, what the fuck, dude? This is what our court system is being used for? This is like scary and demonic. Scary and demonic what our court systems and our systems being used for. Kirsten has used that civil commitment and divorce case. She tried to use it in my harassment restraining order, even though it had already ended. Once Andrew got a new judge that wasn't Tim Wormiger's the same one who signed off on my HRO, with zero evidence to the court, all hearsay, perjury committed on the on his statement. He got it denied. Tim Conboy got his denied by the court, and then he had to go in and get his buddy judge Tim Wormiger, who is also on Andrew's civil commitment, to sign off on this. Once Andrew had a judge that wasn't Tim Wormiger 6 months later, the judge even said, you should have never been committed. Told Andrew that in the court. You should have never been committed. So how is it they were able to do all this? This is abusive behavior. And they still, after 2 years, have not even allowed Andrew to have a phone conversation. He was ordered to give Kirsten phones for the girls, so he got her his 2 oldest daughters' phones. She threw them in the garbage. When Andrew tried to contact them, he went to Florida, so she couldn't claim abuse. She couldn't claim, oh my God, I'm scared of him, right? He went to Florida, kept trying to call her, texted her, trying to get a hold of his daughters. That's what the text messages are about. They're about his daughters. The order for protection is for Kirsten, not for his daughters. So the Inver Grove Heights police who took this phone call and approved this, because she used the same phone calls and text messages for 2 different complaints. And so he had all these warrants out all at once. And I'm like, what's happening? Why do you have all these warrants out? And like, I was like, hey, this is something's going on here. This is weird behavior. So I went and requested all of his complaints. I went to the county courthouse over here in Dakota County, Apple Valley, and I read his court documents, and I'm like, this is a conspiracy. This is defamation of character. This is harassment. This is this is abusive behavior. They've abused the court system, and they're abusing Andrew with it. They have not even allowed him a phone call. And again, when he tried to contact them, she had him arrested. So how is a man supposed to be able to call his children? Prisoners get more rights than this. Still to this day, he has posted on his website, please, Kirsten, have my kids call me, because he can't contact her because he gets arrested. He has warrants out for his arrest because our police officers, our law enforcement, have no more discernment. You didn't read that. You didn't listen to her on the phone and say, oh, what? And then another situation that happened where she lied to police officers was right after those phone calls and text messages. He was riding by River Valley Church, which is where Tim and Kirsten apparently go. And they were parked. I used to go to that church. Okay. That was my church for 5 years or 4 years or however long I went there. Every Sunday, sisterhood groups, all of that. That was my church. I know that church, like inside and out, right? So they're parked out like by the main road. They're parked kind of by the main road off Pilot Knob, hidden from everybody else, but parked next to each other. So it's like, what? So Andrew saw that. He saw his dad's car and Kirsten's car parked next to each other. So he starts recording. He's standing, okay, so River Valley Church right over here. Pilot Knob, this main busy road. He's on the other side on the sidewalk, and he's recording this. He's recording it. He's like, my dad said he was in playing all day long, and he's hanging out with Kirsten, my wife. They're having an affair. Like, he was going on in this video about what his beliefs are with his wife and his dad. And here's all, he was very emotional in this video. So I could see why people might think, oh, he's having mental health problems. But no, he's upset. He is upset. He's having a normal human emotion, okay, in this video. And he's recording it. And then because he saw his daughter and he hasn't been able to see him for a few months, he said, I love you, Madison. That's the only thing that came out of his mouth that Kirsten would be able to hear, right? So then she tells police officers, and this, you can go get the complaints. She tells the officers that he's standing next to the parking lot screaming her name. She lied to law enforcement, okay? So now this woman is a criminal. She's withholding parental rights, which I know if there's no custody and set in place, it's not actually a felony. But what she's done is, it has to be a felony. It has to be the highest crime ever committed, because this is malicious. It's abusive. It's disgusting. And watching Andrew go through this, I mean, he gets up every day, goes to the gym at 4 a.m., wakes up at 4 a.m., goes to the gym, goes to work, comes home, helps me take care of the kids, helps at dinner, helps whatever. I have been seeing this man since 2023. I've been friends with him since 2023. And when I started seeing how he was with my daughter, I'm like, why can't he have his kids? He's come with me to babysit, and I'm looking at him with other kids. My friend Sophie, her kids, like all these kids. He's been around my family, people in my family, and they've never, ever seen any mentally unstable behavior. They've never, like my dad was worried about him living here because of all the stuff he was going through. Like, oh, if he goes to jail, he's out. And I was like, why would he go to jail? And it's because Kirsten's abusing the system. That's why he would go to jail, but he never has since he's been here. I've been scared about going to jail. I had to go to court. I was facing criminal charges for for sharing Andrew's post on his investigation. He found out that Officer Larson called off the Hennepin County medical examiner on his mother's death, so I shared his post. And so Timothy Conboy went to the police officers and then made a comment about how, well, she's a mom, so I don't want her to go to jail. And then he saw another video of me where I'm talking about Tim Wormager approving his thing, but I never said his name in the video. I never said his name in the video at all. I just put where he works. And then he says, okay, now I feel comfortable violating her. Oh, you want to put me in jail for Facebook posts? Because that's what I had threatened for almost 2 years. I had jail threatened on me. I had child protective services threatened on me by his sister. I mean, we couldn't even enjoy our bonfire with my friends without his sister constantly calling because she's Tim Conboy's middleman. They would show up to his house. They left his door wide open. Like, they're doing some weird shit to Andrew, and I've been a witness to it. I am a witness to all this behavior. I have a video where me and my daughter were sitting at Andrew's house. He ran an errand with my car. We were sitting in his house, and I hear doom, doom, doom on the door, and I hid behind the wall, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Avon, shh, shh. Because I didn't know who was at his house, and I was scared. I was, like, shaking, and I was like, give me my phone. So I grabbed the phone, and I waited a few seconds when I kind of could sense that he was walking off, and I ran to his front window, and I recorded his dad, who Andrew tried to get a harassment restraining order on. I recorded his dad leaving his house, getting on his motorcycle and leaving. I have the video of it. And this is after the court denied Andrew a harassment restraining order on his dad and his ex-wife. But they approved all of their stuff to destroy Andrew's life. That's how our court system is being used right now. That's why I'm upset. That's why I have righteous anger. That's why I'm speaking on this, because not even allowing a phone call. Not even allowing a phone call. This is malicious behavior, what they have done to Andrew. Malicious. For 30 days, I was away from my daughter. When I was in North Dakota, I sent her with my mom for 30 days. And I would look at pictures and videos of my daughter, and I would just cry because I missed her so much. So I can't even imagine how Andrew is feeling on the inside. All I know is that what Dakota County is involved in is a super huge crime. This is a conspiracy. And as a journalist, I looked into this. I would have never spoken up on any of this if I didn't do a little bit of research. I'm not an idiot. I know what defamation of character is. That's a very serious accusation to say that somebody poisoned their wife. Very serious accusation. And I thought Andrew was a little bit too much with that accusation. I was like, I don't know, man. I need more information. But after I got more information, I'm like, yeah, I believe you. And after what happened to me and Andrew and the harassment, the harassing phone calls, and everything, I believe Andrew 100%. Like, why would you do this to your son unless you had something to hide, right? And then his dad's running around Rosemont telling everybody Andrew has mental health problems and all this other stuff. Again, I have seen mental health problems because the boyfriend I had before Andrew had mental health problems. I know what mental health problems look like. Andrew has no mental health problems. He may have beliefs others might think are strange or weird, that people, like, I've been called crazy for my beliefs and my views, but now it's funny because all the things I was called crazy for, everyone's like, oh, Steph, now I see what you're talking about. Okay, so with Andrew, when I saw what he was talking about, I'm like, this guy knows some shit. Because of him, I've become a better mom. I started reading more. We go to the library together. We don't drink together. We have been out to the bars in the beginning, right? One time, I think, the one time we went to the bars the night we got pregnant. So that probably wasn't a good idea to be going to the bars like that. But anyways, we are making responsible decisions, right? Like, we're trying to figure out how to build our businesses. We're talking about intellectual things. We're teaching Avalani together. We're playing with Avalani. We're going to the skate park with her. We're taking care of our babies together. Like, why can't he have his kids? That's how I know this is malicious behavior. And just by reading the court documents and the lies that Kirsten told to the law enforcement officers and to the court, like, just reading all of it, I'm like, this is a serious crime. And here's the problem in our system: if you don't have money, you're fucked. If you have no money, you are fucked. And that's not the way the court system's supposed to work. You're supposed to be able to have a fair trial and fair everything, but the problem is you can't unless you have an attorney who does special favors. Like, they all, like, have relationships in the courthouse. The judges and the attorneys have special relationships together. So I personally know this. I know people who are attorneys. I know the relationships that develop, right, in these courtrooms. Whether they want to admit it or not, I know. I just watched it with Tim Conboy and Tim Wormager. That was unfair. That was not an equal court hearing. And no, I did not appeal. I should not have to appeal something that's unconstitutional, and I will not. I do not comply to your judicial system. I don't comply to all this bullshit after what I've seen done. We are at war right now. It is a civil war, and it's against each other in these courtrooms. So if you have a baby with somebody, just be fucking nice. Get rid of your own personal relationship. Relationship breaking up, that is a hard thing to go through. It hurts. There's jealousy. There's lots of emotions, right? And the fact that these courts are getting so involved with people's personal breakups is insane to me. It's insane. You're having people punished for having emotions and being emotional. Being put in jail for how many fucking days? That's insane to me. These people are nonviolent, going to jail for things, for phone calls. For phone calls and text messages, trying to call their children. That's what they're going to jail for. That's what they're having criminal violations, they're having criminal charges pushed on them. For phone calls and text messages, trying to call their children. This is what our court system is being used for, and I have a problem. And all this Charlie Kirk assassination, whether it's real or fake, I don't fucking know. I don't care. Our real fight is here locally. If you have a friend who's in the court system, help them out. Do some research for them, whatever. But you have a lot of parents right now, a lot of people right now who are going through their own war in their own homes, their family, at the court system. That's where the true war is at right here in America. And innocent children are being affected by this. I was an innocent child who was affected by the divorce system, the court system, but not as bad as it is now. Now it's horrifying. My mom at least let me talk to my dad. I actually got to see my dad when I moved to Minnesota. I got to come visit, right? What these people are doing today with the court system is like, it's insanity. It's evil. It's malicious, it's hurtful, and it's damaging these children, which is why I'm speaking up. So again, if I go to jail for this video, I just want to let the law enforcement officers know, and whoever, I am a breastfeeding mother. I am not a violent person. I have no criminal history. There's zero reason to put me in jail. There's zero reason to file criminal charges on me. I am the victim. Andrew is the victim. Not Tim Conboy, not Kirsten Conboy, and not Amy Harvey. I have watched them bully and harass Andrew for 2 years, and I want something done about this. And the fact that I have reported to multiple law enforcement officers and they're like, it's out of my jurisdiction. Call Michael Dahlstrom from Rosemount, the chief police, who won't get back to Andrew, who won't get back to me, who somebody else told me Chief Dahlstrom from Rosemount was actually harassing him a few years ago and kept giving him bullshit citations. So I don't trust Michael Dahlstrom from Rosemount Police Department. He needs to be replaced with somebody who actually is competent and has some discernment and has some intellect. Because right now what he's doing is he's covering up a murder. He's refusing an investigation for this murder in Rosemount in his town. Andrew told me that growing up, him and his brothers never got in trouble. They never got minors like my friends have. They haven't been kicked off sports, the same things that other people are kicked off sports for. They've received a lot of special treatment, even by police officers, right? When his brother made a top drug dealing list, they went and told Tim Conboy, hey, your son's on this list, just want to let you know, get things under control. But any of us would have been to jail, our lives would have been destroyed, but not Tim Conboy. His sons, nope, he's the king of Rosemount, and nothing can happen to his sons. Except for now, and he took his son's wife's side. So what does that tell me? If your son has never gotten in trouble for it, and you guys were so close, but once he started questioning you about your wife's death, you destroy his life, to me that looks like signs of guilt, and any person that has common sense would see that too. So we'll find out what happens. Anyways, I love you. Have a great day.